YouTube, what is going on? Today I want to talk about not being motivated, having some times of burnout, feeling worn and torn down. In this industry, that can happen a lot. I honestly feel like in a lot of trades, this can happen a lot. For me, for sure, when I was working at the dealerships, it was a big deal. I've told people many times that my previous experiences at dealerships and multiple dealerships and multiple independent shops were not great. I didn't have amazing experiences at all of the previous places I worked. And to be full transparent, I could have done a better job as well. And my perspective got very skewed, and I got a toxic personality over time because I allowed outside sources to skew and change my perspective. I allowed other toxic employees to skew my perspective. And that's typically what happens. Is it's not one positive person brings the shop up, it's one toxic person can bring the entire shop down, as I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, have seen that a time or two in our careers. And so I just want to talk about and give some suggestions and some recommendations of some things that work for me that to help kind of get me out of those times of burnout. And if you have any suggestions of things that you do that work for you, please share them in the comments. We definitely want to help each other. It can be tough. I think again, at any trade industry, this is the case because motivation only lasts so long, y'all. You can be money motivated and that's fantastic, but money comes and goes. You can be things, material things motivated where you like buying things. Obviously you need money for that, but some people are more motivated by the end result of the spending money than they are the actual money itself. And then you could be motivated by whatever the case may be. Those things all come and go. Motivation does not stay around forever. And so you have to have a really big why. You'll see a lot of really big leaders and people that are, successful and whatnot. They'll talk about having a big why. You definitely need a really big why, but even that sometimes still does not motivate everybody constantly, unless it's like some crazy big why, and not everybody has some crazy big why or they haven't found it yet. And so my suggestion to you is definitely look and focus and self-reflect on why you're doing what you're doing, what your long-term goals are with what you're doing with your life, not only your life, but obviously your career, your family, so on and so forth. For me, my why is supporting my wife and kids, giving them the things that I never had as a kid, giving my kids the things that I never had. My wife stays at home with our kids and homeschools them and is able to do co-op and other things. That's a big why to me. When I got married, I wanted to give my wife the opportunity to stay home with our children if she wanted. And thankfully, since we had our first daughter, she's been able to do that. We're very blessed. And so I did that as an employee working for someone else. And I've done that owning my own business. But what I can tell you is, again, at the dealerships and at shops that I worked at, and then now as a business owner, I definitely have my times of burnout where I am just done. I'm not motivated. I don't enjoy coming into the shop every day. I did not enjoy going into the dealership or the independent shops every day. I just had my burnout phases. And I know we all go through this. And so my goal is to hopefully help give you some ideas. Again, hopefully y'all will share some of yours in the comments, and that will give other people's ideas to help each other out to kind of get out of these burnout phases and these kind of doom and gloom spots that we can get ourselves in and kind of lift each other up, because that's what we need more of for sure. So for me, some of the things that I do, especially let's talk about just like a day. Let's say you have a bad day or you wake up rough, you have a bad morning, whatever, or you're having consistent bad days and bad mornings. One thing that I do in my life that I started just about a year ago now is I started working out in the mornings. Not everybody has this opportunity or option. I think you can, especially if you have a 24-hour gym. I started waking up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm not a huge morning person, just so you know. So this was out of my normal. And I started waking up at 4:30. I go to the gym at 5. I work out with a personal trainer 2 days a week. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I work out on my own and kind of do my own thing, cardio, sauna, stuff like that. That helps me. I'm starting my day off with something hard. And when you start your day off with hard things, it makes the rest of the day not seem so hard. So doing the sauna for 25 minutes is hard. Working out is hard. I cold plunge as well. Getting in freezing cold water is not easy and it's hard. So I've started my day out with 3 very hard things now the rest of the day isn't so bad. Now, to be full transparent, it's still not always like the end all be all. I still have times where I'm just not motivated and I still have off days. And right now I'm currently, as I'm recording this video, in one of those kind of slumps. February was a super slow month for me. It's the slowest month I've had outside of October 2022 when I had COVID for 9 days. And I was physically like stuck in bed. I was crawling to the bathroom. I thought I was quite literally dying. And the week after I finally was able to at least move around, I would lose my breath, like run out of breath just walking from the car to the shop. So I didn't hardly take any jobs. So that month was just, I lost money. And then last month had a super slow month, just terrible. I asked around because, you always want to make sure it's not something you've done. And we as shop owners and business owners in general, not just automotive shop owners, but business owners, we think like we lost all of our clients in 1 month. I don't know why we do that, but you always think the worst. And so I'm like asking shop owners, like, man, I'm stupid slow right now. Talked to a lot of other shop owners. A bunch of people were slow. In those moments, it's easy to get in a slump, and it's kind of easy to feel down on yourself and doom and gloom. And so what I found is I have to focus on doing other things instead of just sitting around moping, doing nothing that benefits me. I have to do things that actually help out around the shop, clean the shop up, reorganize. I'll reach out to past clients. We do like slow day text blasts through our CRM, things like that. That helps me in those moments and times as well. But sometimes it's a long period of time. It was the entire month of February. So one thing that's helped me is to get away from the shop. If you're slow, I know it's hard to step away and take another day away because you're already slow. So you're in that mind frame of, I've got to make revenue. I promise you, just try it one time and see how much it helps you. Go take a half day, go take a whole day, go out with your wife and kids or just your wife, whatever, get a babysitter for the kids, go out on a nice date night, go out on an extended weekend away, whatever the case may be, just get away from the shop. Kind of reset and refresh yourself. It helps tremendously. We did that the end of February. I didn't plan it that way. We had already had this trip planned and it worked out great because I was having a terribly slow month. And I'll be honest, like I said, the last thing I wanted to do was take a couple days off and close the shop because if I'm not making revenue, if I'm not here, we're not generating any revenue. So anyways, we went away for the weekend and it was awesome. We went out to a place in Ohio called Amish Country. It's super laid back. Everything closes early. They close on Sundays. They close early on Saturday. They're like open only till 5 or 6. And we were able to just kind of relax, reset, and refresh, my wife and I. And there's not great cell service out there. Everybody's slow paced. So it's just a good, really reset for me. I like going out there a couple times a year. That helps me. Now, if I have like super long extended periods of times and I just cannot shake it, something that I have found that works for me is going to an amusement park and riding roller coasters. I don't like roller coasters. It's not like I think to myself, oh, I want to go to an amusement park and ride roller coasters. I'm not a fan of heights. It's just not my thing, okay? But what I found is something like that to really kind of jar me loose helps tremendously. It is a game changer for sure. And so you might like love riding roller coasters and it may still work for you. I just feel like it's something that kind of, because it's not something I love and it's out of my comfort zone, it kind of just shakes me loose, and it's definitely something that I need to do every now and again. I've found for sure, as a shop owner, I do get burned out much faster. I need time away much more often than when I was a tech, because you're doing everything. Right now it's just me. And so I am, the advisor, I'm the technician, I am the social media manager, I'm ordering the parts, I'm the parts guy, all of the things, cleaning the shop, so on and so forth. So I'm doing everything all by myself, and that can be very overwhelming. Even if you have technicians and stuff, well, now you're dealing with people problems and employee problems versus just dealing with everything like the smaller stuff like I am. So, the problems never go away. And as a business owner as a whole, you just take on a lot of that weight and stress. So you need more time away to refresh and recoup. So just make sure you plan those out a couple times a year. And whether that's going away to a place, like I said, Amish country, that's super laid back, kind of rural, maybe in the mountains or something like that. Or maybe you like the beach and you just want to lay out in the sand, in the sun, and read a book or whatever, go in the ocean, whatever the case may be, plan those days out. Another thing is stay away from negative, toxic people, man. That is such a big deal. We've all seen it where there's one toxic person in the shop and they bring the entire shop down, and it just ruins the entire shop culture, just tears it apart. It's not something you need to be around. Unfortunately, you may not always realize it right away, but just focus and pay attention. You have to have kind of have an open mind when you're going into work, and try to pay attention to that stuff. And when people come over and they want to start bad talking the shop or bad talking other people or whatever, just cut them off and be like, I don't want to talk about it. Let's focus on something else. Let's talk about something positive or whatever. And that's easier said than done. I understand those are difficult conversations. A lot of times people can get offended over silly stuff like that. It happens. Don't take it personal. Just let them know, hey, I'm trying to change some things for myself. I'm trying to improve and better myself. So it's nothing against you personally. These are just some things that I'm taking on, and bring it back on yourself so then they don't take as offense to it. Hopefully they won't. Some people will still, but it is what it is, right? You gotta look out for you and your family. And, so you gotta start there. If you don't have anything to give out and, from yourself, you're not going to be able to give out and help other people. So you have to focus on yourself and make sure you're good mentally, physically. And we, as an industry, have a lot of issues with mental illness and depression and things like that, where people, there's high rates of suicide and things of that nature. We can't be having this, y'all. We've got to do a better job at giving ourselves a break. We put so much pressure on ourselves. We are in hard work environments. There's just so many things. It's a very ungrateful industry, unfortunately. It's just the facts of the way it is. We can do things on our end, though, as people in the industry. And again, so to recap, some of the things that have helped me: working out, cold plunging, sauna. So whatever that looks like for you, find a gym, buy a cold plunge for your house. That's what I did. I got a cold plunge for my house. Even if you're just cold plunging, I'm telling you, it'll make a difference. But having a good physical body and being in shape changes a lot of everything. You have to have a really good foundation. Now, I am a Christian, so God as my spiritual foundation is a big deal for me. If you're not a Christian, then, other things you're going to be able to do that with. I'm not here to preach at you or whatever. I can just tell you that works for me, and it's been a huge part of my life and a huge part of my foundation as a person, and then as a marriage and as a family. That's a big deal. So, and then again, physically in good shape. I'm telling you, just your life will change just going to the gym in the morning. I hate working out, y'all. I'm not a fan of working out. I'm not interested in it. I still, to this day, don't enjoy it. I force myself to do it because I know the results and how I feel afterwards are worth the little bit of discomfort of me going into the gym and doing something I don't enjoy doing. So, and then next, get away from the shop. Even if it's half a day, every month, one half a day a month is not going to kill you. I promise. It's not going to ruin your business. You can make up for it in other places with efficiency and other things, whatever the case may be, or a day or whatever. My wife and I usually do date nights. We try to do at least one date night a month. That helps me a lot. It's just her and I, no kids. And, I would say I don't do probably half a day, but I do like a lot of smaller things to get away from the shop. I do a guys night once a month with several guy friends of mine, and I'll leave the shop early and go hang out with them. And we always do fun stuff once a month. And then we do a family night, almost once a month with not just my wife and kids, but my brothers and their wives and their kids and my parents, and we all get together. And that's a big deal as well. So things like that. Be involved in the community. We're very involved in church communities. That helps us a bunch as well. And we have other families and like-minded people that we hang out with and our kids hang out with. And all of those things help. And then again, doing something that kind of, if you're stuck and you've been in a rut for a while, do something to shake things up. Cedar Point for me, which amusement park, whatever it may be for you. Maybe it's going out, getting in the woods and hunting. Maybe it's going on a hike. Maybe it's, again, going on the beach. Maybe it's going into the city and, going away for a night and going to a really nice restaurant. I don't know what it is. Everybody's going to have their different things. These are just ideas to hopefully help you. Again, let's support each other. Let's help each other. Appreciate y'all. See you on the next one.